Entertainment Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Napoleon, the new war epic by Ridley Scott, and my thoughts on this film. I have not been this disappointed in a film that I was very excited for in a very long time. I have not been this disappointed since Last Jedi. And that was an epic fuck up. But this, now, is it as bad as The Last Jedi? No, nowhere near. But is it bad? Yes. Because this is not a war epic. This film is a romantic drama. Ridley Scott has fucking done what a lot of companies are doing these days. Putting a character that we're interested in, or a historical figure we're interested in the front to get people to the cinema to then focus on the fucking female character, which is Josephine. This film is supposed to be about Napoleon. It is. It's supposed to be about him. 90 to 95% of this fucking film is dedicated to Napoleon's fucking marriage to Josephine. Ridley Scott does the majority of Napoleon's victories, the majority of his fucking war campaigns, through the fucking letters Napoleon sends to Josephine. We get 4 fucking battle scenes. And again, I'll say this, the battle scenes are great when they're there, but you barely see anything of them. We never find out about Napoleon's old guard. We never find out about Napoleon's, why he won so much. Why did Europe hate him? Why did Europe fear him? Napoleon was not just a leader. He was a fucking general who scared the living shit out of everybody in Europe. I mean, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry, oh my god, this film is just dumb. Ridley Scott used to make great fucking films. I remember Gladiator. That's why I was excited for this film. And The Kingdom of Heaven. I mean, Ridley Scott knows what he's doing with these films. But what does he do with this film? Focuses on something the majority of people are not going to care about. Why the fuck would you concentrate the majority of your film on Napoleon's relationship with Josephine? Because that's all he does in this fucking film. It is fucking ridiculous. Now, the beginning 10 minutes of this film are actually really great. You had the French Revolution, you have the Queen's beheading, you have what they tried to form as a government. They even explain to you, the period of terror in France, where all the rich were getting their heads chopped off, and, how the guy in charge was turning insane, and he was trying to become a dictator and a prophet at the same time. Again, they did so much good in the 10 minutes. I mean, you had Napoleon's rise to fucking fame. The siege of Toulon. It was a great fucking scene. I don't understand how you go from that to focusing on a stupid fucking marriage for the majority of your film. I'm going to keep bringing it up because that is all Ridley Scott concentrates on. Listen, Joaquin Phoenix, he is a great actor, but I think the Joker role has gone to his head, because I did not like his portrayal of Napoleon in this film. He either plays him as a spoilt child, a moron, or in some cases a fucking retard. Napoleon was one of the smartest generals of his time. The guy literally beat armies to the point where one of the European countries was so impressed with Napoleon and his generals, they made one of his fucking generals their king. But in this film, you wouldn't fucking know it. You don't find out about fucking Napoleon's victories until you fucking hear him talking to Josephine about it through those fucking letters. Do you see his battles in Italy? Do you see his battles in Austria? I mean, for fuck's sake, Napoleon beat Austria so fucking much, it got to the point of embarrassment for them. To the point they had to send one of their damn daughters to shut him up. And that, oh my god, Napoleon wanted a kid all of his fucking life. And in this film, he could give two shits about his son. Napoleon sent letter after letter to, oh my god. This film is a disaster. It is. Listen, the acting's great. The cinematography is great. The CGI is great. I will give you all of that. But the writing and the focus of the story is wrong. It doesn't focus on what people want. You get 6 fucking minutes of Napoleon's campaign in Russia. 6 minutes! But we get 29 minutes on Napoleon trying to divorce his fucking wife. That is fucking true. 6 minutes of Napoleon's fucking campaign in Russia, 29 minutes on focusing on his fucking divorce. How the fuck? Who is this movie for? Because it's going to piss off the history buff people, the people who are interested in battles, and the people that you're actually catering this movie to, the fucking romantic assholes, are not going to be interested because, again, it's a film about Napoleon! If you want to watch a film about Napoleon, how good he was on the battlefield, I would suggest watching Waterloo. Because that is a fantastic movie. This is not. By the way, Napoleon's biggest defeat gets 20 minutes. 20 fucking minutes. The Battle of Waterloo. We don't get the Gauchin incident. Oh, we do see him do the charge, but you don't see Napoleon's reaction to it. You don't see Napoleon leading the battle. You don't see Napoleon trying to get to the British fast and try to beat us. And by the way, Ridley, where the fuck were we, the British, throughout this fucking movie? You literally just put us in from time to time. Napoleon's biggest fear was the British Empire. And the Russian Empire, but Britain first, because we kicked his ass. Now listen, Napoleon kicked our ass on battlefields. I can't deny that. He did. But when it came to the sea, the Royal Navy kicked 10 types of shit out of him. Oh, and again, what about his fucking Egyptian campaign? Do you know why Napoleon abandoned his troops in Egypt? Was it because the British had surrounded him, destroyed all of his navy ships, destroyed all his supply routes, bribed the fucking natives of Egypt to fucking stab Napoleon in the back? No. None of that happened in this film. No, Napoleon went back to France, abandoned his army because his wife was cheating on him. That is why he left his army. I mean, for fuck's sake, Ridley Scott. Napoleon's campaign in Egypt gets 5 minutes. The campaign where he literally took over Egypt, where he was trying to build something, you don't show how the British defeated him on the seas. You don't show the Battle of Trafalgar, the battle that fucking destroyed Napoleon's relationship with Spain to the point he had to invade, and which many people call his invasion of Spain, France is Vietnam. You miss out those fucking campaigns. Oh, no. He didn't miss them out. I'm sorry. He mentions them in the fucking letters to Josephine. Oh my fucking God. This film is way too focused on that. It is way too focused. By the way, do we also find out about fucking Napoleon's relationship with his generals? Do you find out about how important his generals were to him? How good they were? No, they get 2 minutes each, and well, not even that. Not even that. You barely see most of them. You see about 2 of them. Gushin is one, and the black guy is another. Sorry, again, that's not woke, by the way, to people who are saying, oh my God, they put a black guy in it. No. Napoleon had a black general. Okay, that's fact. And he was a good general. Do we find out anything about him in this film? No. You don't find out a goddamn thing. He is a background character. Oh my God. The fuck was I on? Oh yeah. We don't find out anything about the generals. We don't find out about the general who was literally so popular that the fucking people of Denmark made them his fucking king. They made one of Napoleon's generals their fucking king because they were so impressed with him. Do we find out anything about that character? Do we find out how that happened? No. You get one fucking scene where Napoleon mentions it as in his war fucking briefing. That's all you get from it. But we get enough time to know about Josephine dying. We find out about fucking Josephine's affairs. How the fuck do you call this a war epic? How? When there's barely any war in it. Now listen, when it comes to the war scenes, they are spectacular. The bloody siege of Toulon is great. It is! And as a Brit watching my people get the shit kicked out of them, again, not great, but the scene was amazing. Seeing what Napoleon did there, seeing how he turned the guns on the British fleet and destroyed them and fucking used mortars, that was such an epic scene. Why could I not get more of this? Why could I not get more battle scenes in a war epic? But I had to get scenes of Napoleon being a freak with fucking Josephine. Him being a fucking spoiled brat in some scenes. I mean, the literal scene where he goes to the British ambassador and says, why do you treat me like shit because of the fact you have a couple of boats? You mean the couple of boats that kicked you out of Egypt? You mean the couple of boats that kicked your ass at Trafalgar? You mean the couple of boats that are pretty much landlocking the French? You mean those couple of boats? You don't get any fucking mention of that in this fucking film, other than little sentences or letters to bloody Josephine. Now, again, I get that the relationship between Napoleon and Josephine is an important fucking historical event. I get it. I'm not saying get rid of the fucking character, because that's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, Vanessa Kirby, I think that's her name, she was great in this. Again, there's nothing wrong with the fucking acting in this film. There's nothing. But to concentrate so much time on it, you barely fucking see anything other than that. And what about when Napoleon becomes emperor? You see it, you can already watch it on YouTube. That's how much they focus on Napoleon becoming emperor. You don't see the planning stages. You don't see Napoleon stabbing the other consuls in the back. And oh my God, let's talk about the fucking scene when Napoleon takes down the fifth government, the fifth revolution, I don't fucking know. But when he takes out that government and has basically a military coup, they make Napoleon look like a fucking moron in that scene. You see Napoleon fall downstairs, leg it to the door with a bunch of politicians running after him, him having to desperately shut a door to keep them in there while his brother has to talk to his troops to get them to act. This is fucking Napoleon. Why the fuck is his brother talking to the troops? Why is Napoleon not talking to them? Why is Napoleon not rushing them in already? Why is he wasting... Oh my fucking God. And let's talk about fucking Napoleon and his men. You get 2 scenes of Napoleon talking to his men. There's a scene in Russia where he's handing them bread, and there's a scene where when Napoleon gets the army to turn against the king. That's it. That's the level that Ridley Scott shows you of why Napoleon's men like him. You don't get the fact he used to talk to his men. You don't get the fact he used to reward his men. You don't get the fact that you don't even get any sort of communication between them. You don't get one scene where the soldiers talk about how much they love Napoleon. Like, again, Napoleon had the old guard. The soldiers that had been with Napoleon for so long. The veterans, the diehards. The ones who would die for him. Do you find out anything about the old guard? Do you even know why they're important to Napoleon? No. You never fucking know that. Oh my God, this film is a mistake. I had so much hope for this. I did. Again, Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor. He's a great actor. But again, I think the Joker role got to his head. And now he has to really overact these characters now because he did one good character. Oh my God, it's just so... It's like a punch in the gut. This film could have been epic. It could have been. But it wasn't. Because they focused on the wrong thing. The people who are going to come to this film are expecting to see Napoleon's war stories, his fucking battles, his conquests, not his fucking marriage and his divorce and his pathetic scenes with the new wife. And by the way, the new wife barely gets mentioned, his son barely gets mentioned, but we always have to think about Josephine, because the last words that Napoleon said before he was exiled after the Battle of Waterloo was France, the army, and Josephine. I get he loved her, I do. But to concentrate your film on that was stupid. But let's talk about the Battle of Waterloo. Why do I think it's the best part of the film? Well, for one thing, it at least happens after Josephine's death, so we don't have to deal with that shit anymore. But I liked the battle scenes. I liked the CGI in it. I liked the fact you had the Duke of Wellington, played by Rupert Everett. I think he's a good actor. I think he was a okay choice. Maybe there could have been a couple of different options. I don't know. But he's a good actor, and I thought he played the character well. I like the scene between him and Napoleon at the end, when he tells Napoleon about his exile to that small island on the coast of Africa. I like that scene. I also like the fact that they did show in this movie that a lot of British soldiers had a lot of respect for Napoleon. They did hate him, but again, Napoleon, who was a fantastic general, every soldier knew it back then. They did have respect. And I wish they'd concentrated on that part of his life. But they didn't. But yeah, the Battle of Waterloo is the best battle scene. I did like the France-Austria scene with the ice river. But the end fight is just better. Again, that scene between the Austrian-Russian battle was definitely great. It's just it didn't last long enough for me. I don't get why. I don't get why the battle scenes were so short, but his scenes between him and Josephine lasted for so fucking long. I'm just disappointed. I mean, the ending just shows you him exiled on the island and him dying. And I will say this about Ridley Scott's. The ending is okay. Okay, I didn't want to see the whole... Because there is a very famous photo of Napoleon when he's in his breeches and panned down his trousers. And again, listen, I'm just going to say it's probably British propaganda about that. Again, we did hate him. But, I mean, to know how much we hated and feared Napoleon. When Napoleon died, Britain sealed him in a fucking crate. Well, we put him in a fucking a casket, and then we put that casket in a fucking brick mold or a rock mold or something, and still had guards on it. We still had ships patrolling the island just to make sure Napoleon was actually dead. That's how much fear Napoleon had on us Brits. We were literally still scared of the son of a bitch, even when he was dead. That is an epic character. And did you see that character in this film? No. He was not portrayed like that. He was portrayed like a moron throughout this film. And I am just gutted. I was hoping for a war epic. I got a romantic drama. And I fucking pissed off. Now, is this the worst movie I've ever seen? No. Is this the worst movie I've seen this month? No. Marvel still happened. And I'm only halfway through that stupid fucking Hunger Games thing. Because I'm not going to the cinema to pay for that shit. Fuck off. Hunger Games is a fucking joke anyway. But this film, I was actually excited to watch. And I trusted Ridley Scott. I trusted the trailers I saw. If you watch those trailers and compare it to this film, it's an obvious lie. This is an obvious switch around from epic war film to romantic joke. Well, what am I going to give this out of 10? What would I give Napoleon out of 10? I can't go higher than a 4 out of 10. The acting is great. The CGI is great. The cinematography is great. But 80% of the story is focused on something I didn't give a shit about. And you can't get away with this. I am sick and tired of trailers lying to me and telling me I'm going to get this, but instead I get this. A 4 out of 10. Don't bother watching it. It's from Sony, so they're probably going to wait a couple of weeks and then they're just going to put it on their fucking app. And then when it's on the app, someone's going to download it on the internet free. If I were you, just wait till then. This is not worth it. Ridley Scott, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. What the fuck was this? I am just absolutely fucking angry right now. And that's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. And if you have a comment, leave it below and I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can. Entertainment Soldier, bye.